In this part of the tutorial, I want to show you the difference between the random mode and the story mode. And I want to especially show you more about the story mode. So let's get started. I'll go here into the editor, and first I'll just open the garden and science game that we created with the random mode. As you already know, here we have our random cards that come randomly into play. So let's see what's the difference between the random mode and the story mode. For that, I created another version of the garden and science game with the story mode. So let's have a look at that. The first difference is that you have chapters here. You can use the chapters or you go just straight into the deck view. But let's stick to the chapters. With the chapters, you can structure your game. So for instance, I'll just call that first chapter and edit that. So all these cards are now in the first chapter. And as you can see here, it's quite similar to the random mode. So here you have the random cards. The random cards will come into play first in the game. And when all the random cards are played, the game switches to the steps. And with the steps, you can define what should be the first card in your game, the second card, the third, and so on. And it's always from top to bottom. Everything else works the same. You can use flags, conditions, and of course your resources. Then there is the last step. The last step comes into play when all the other cards are played and none of these end cards apply according to their conditions. But as you can see here, there's a plus as well. That does not mean that if you add cards here, step 1 goes from this card to this card and so on. No, it does mean that you can add here other cards that are just coming into play when certain conditions are applying. So on this step, I used another card. So here at step 4, we have the question on our garden cat. So the question is if we want to adopt a garden cat or not. And if we do so, we set the flag cat on true. So here at step 5, there's a card where a man comes to my house and asks if I saw his stray cat, his cat. And it was apparently the stray cat that you scared away. So this card makes sense if you chose to not to adopt the cat before. And now I added here another card that comes into play when the flag cat is true. So here you can name the cat. The man won't come to the house, or maybe you add a card where the man comes to your house and is very happy about the fact that you adopted his cat. So let's have a look at our game. First, the random cards come into play. And now the first card of our steps is played. Third, and here we have the question about the garden cat. We say, yes, we want to adopt it. And the next step will be the question about the name of your cat. I'll start it again. First, the two random cards are coming into play. I'll just skip through it to get to the points. The first card, again, now it's very linear, so you have the possibility to explain a linear story. And now we say we don't want to adopt the garden cat. And then the man is coming to your house and asks about the cat, because the flag cat is not true. Okay, so that was it. So now you know the difference between the story mode and the random mode. I would recommend to use the story mode if you want to tell actual stories in a quite linear way. Of course, that also needs a little bit more time, planning and thinking ahead than when you use the random mode. In any case, in both modes, you can create games that can be a powerful teaching resource. And so that you can also play around further with this part of the tutorial, I will also upload it and make it available for you.